Hey everyone, it's Alexis. I am back with a brand new video. Today doing a questions and answers video about everything manifesting. I have had a bunch of questions come in, some questions that were on previous videos, and I am just going to answer general questions. I get asked a lot by clients and just in general topics that we can cover as a Q&A, all right? Before I get started, the links for booking one-on-one coaching, the links for booking hypnosis, the links for all of my pre-recorded hypnosis audios and everything is in the box below, so please click there. And if you look on my calendar for a session and you do not see something that works for you, or it looks like I am booked online, please email us directly at sessions@createyourfuture.co, and we can offer you a time. You can coordinate with our receptionist team to get on my calendar as soon as possible to get some guidance. Okay. So yeah, I'm doing a Q&A video, you guys, because I get asked a lot of questions that I think will help a lot of people. And some really good questions have been coming in to my inbox on previous videos. Okay. So the first question is this. Now, this is from Bella BG. Okay. Bella BEJTJA9777. Okay. And this was a little while ago. This was actually a little bit less than a month ago that this person wrote this in. And this is a really good question for everybody. That is the root of a lot of things. And she even knows that in her question. Question is, if I know my root thought is that I'm not enough, what can I do to be as if I am enough? I affirm, but it's just a constant feeling that has always been with me. Well, congratulations on figuring this out. Congratulations on understanding and doing some deep dives on yourself to understand that the lack of being enough and never having felt good enough, or having the thought, the belief, the assumption that I am enough and I have enough going on, etc., is the root of a lot of things. Now, first of all, this is the root to a lot of things. Okay, I'm just going to access the question again. So if I need to look at it. So what can we do to create the opposite? Remember, you guys, that there is the version of you within you that has picked up from the outer reality at some point. Now, the not good enough, not enough thing as a belief or an assumption, it is within the subconscious mind. It's a viewpoint that we tend to have on lots of topics when we feel, and we've held on to the idea, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, or I'm not enough in this and I'm not good enough in that. It reverberates in different areas, right? So there's the version of you that has always felt that way, that took that on though from the outside environment. None of us are born into the human idea, the human plane, right? Our area here, having the not good enough thing is my opinion and my idea about it and my belief about it at this point. So you picked it up along the way. So there's various ways that you can go about changing and reframing. This is the best way to look about it. Okay. In the last video I did, I talked about lanes of thought and lanes of focus, and lanes that have different thoughts, different ideas, like as if there's one you and another you. Okay. So, and there's another question I will answer about the lane topic video. Okay. The video, I actually remember the title, which is Flip Your Reality This Way. If you're curious or you haven't seen it, I will be referencing that video. So in any event, there's a lane 1 and a lane 2. There's the lane of what you don't want. There's the lane of what you do want. So there's the version of you that has always felt not good enough and tends to think that and tends to see that, be that, believe that, feel that, in various topics as the lane of this is what I don't want. Okay. There is then the lane that is the viewpoint and the thoughts and the ideas and the feelings that you're just not used to thinking. That's how simple it is. I want to make this, Bella. I'm going to call you that. I think it might be your nickname. That is really how simple this is. This is not, I want to say to everyone working on and changing and shifting the good enough, I am good enough, I've always been good enough, I am good enough, I've always been good enough, I am good enough. That's the mental diet for it, okay? As a simplistic way. That's what you do want. So it is changing the thoughts and imprinting the idea, the belief, the feeling, the assumption that, guess what, I am good enough now. Now, the mind, when you begin this process, will go to here, it will go to there, it will go to here, it will go to there. It will, and even as you start to affirm and think of what you do want, right? I am good enough, I am enough within myself. I see and reflected other people tell me, or other people show me that I am way more than good enough, okay? You want to amp it up and go for the gold because you're choosing to become, decide, and feel and think that you are that, right? Now, this will get louder when you focus on this for a little while. That's just a process of conscious creation. As you choose and think differently, other reminders and other things that have always been there or come in, it will try to challenge it. This is the same thing that happens with your specific person. If you're doing thought creation for what you do want, how you do want SP to be, you do want him to be, you do want her to be. Generally speaking, for a lot of people, the other noise will come in. Okay, I've got so many videos on what's this noise about? Who's the voice of the noise? Where did this start? What's it coming from? Okay, because it ain't you, all right? You are now choosing though. So Bella, you got to choose and think and affirm. Now, your mental diet, your thoughts are the creation and the basis of all things. Your mental diet, your thoughts are the creation and basis of your feelings. All that you have done is think and assumed, and things have happened in your outer reality that you then thought the thought a lot of, I'm not good at that. I'm just not good enough. They're the ones who look like that. They have that. I am this, therefore I'm not good enough. Okay. Now, the other thing is, you guys, this is oftentimes when people begin the process of the I am good enough, focusing on it, right? They'll like go for evidence of why I'm good enough. Like, okay, I'm good at this, so I'm good enough. Or like, I'm good at this sport, so I'm good enough. Or I'm good at this activity, so I'm good enough. But we want to go deeper. And we want intrinsically to imprint the subconscious mind with these thoughts that you are good enough as you. It's unconditional self-love. It's unconditional good enoughness. Okay, you guys. So just so I say it in the video, remember, your mind will try to get evidence always from the outer 3D reality. And we want to say, oh, same thing with SP. It's great to get evidence of his or her change. But at the same time, you, loves, are the precursor to the change. So you don't want to be looking for evidence and evidentiary, like, okay, so this, that. That's why I'm good enough. Like, no. We are developing the belief and the thought and the idea, now imprinting it into the mind, right? I'm pointing there because it's the lane of what you want, just because you are. And that's actually, in the end of the day, a lot simpler. Now, along with the mental diet, what else can you do is another question. I think that's what she was she or he, don't know the gender, what Bella was asking. And you want to really experiment. All of us are different, unique snowflakes. Some people like to pretend and act and have the feeling of being good enough. That could work for you. There isn't one way as an adjunct to your mental diet that we can say will work for everyone, because again, we're all individual. But some things people have liked to do along with the thoughts is people like to script, right? They like to write down the phrases, the same things over and over again. It's a way to connect with the words. And you want to experiment. Some people, when they do affirmations or they're changing their thoughts, they're focusing on, I am good enough. This is who I am. Now, I would say too, you want to add on a lot to the I am good enough statement. I am valuable. I am worthy. I am more than enough. And I have always been good enough. It was just me that didn't see it that way, because that's all that it was, you guys. You just didn't know to have things happening in your outer reality and then still come back to the idea like, oh yeah, but I'm good enough. Like, they're doing that. They're saying that. They're arguing about that, right? But I'm good enough. I'm cool. I'm good. I'm here. I'm just moving on with the day. A lot of people are drawing their self-concept, their sense of self, who they truly are, from people, places, things outside of them. Now, why do we do that? Because we're taught to do that. It's all that we do until you come to the idea that, oh, so my inner reality creates my outer reality. So therefore I get to decide. So if I get to decide, what have I been deciding? Oh, Nelly, oh my gosh, can of worms. Now, the other thing I want to say, Bella, is this term you used, which I've actually had a lot of clients that I've said, let's stop saying this. My root thought. The issue I have with my core issue, my root thought, my deep issue is that we just don't want to reiterate that there are multiple deep issues and real things to like get past. Like, you have so many beliefs and assumptions. I hear this a lot from clients all the time. Okay, Alexis, I found like my one belief that's holding everything up, right? And usually you guys, they say it to me that way. I found it. It's like, and I listen. It's like, okay, so even if you think you found it, we don't really know necessarily what's in the subconscious mind. We have to think the thoughts of what we want anyways. You don't need to know what the root, what the deep dark thing is. The answer is your thinking. The more that you're thinking, I have root issues, I have core problems, I have deep-seated limiting beliefs, right? I have these deep-seated limitations. Then you know what you're doing, though, is you're thinking thoughts that you have more problems, okay? What you want to think is more easily, more simply, more lightly about this whole topic, you guys. Everyone gets very deep, dark, and down into it when they get into this. Or, you know, along the way, like there's, what is it to fix? What do I got going on? What's my thing? And we want to say, no, it's just me choosing to think that I am good enough. I'm more than good enough right here, right now. So just be careful of that, everybody. Bella, along with all of us, right? We just don't want to fall into the pattern of like, okay, what's this? What are these deep, deep roots about? On the other hand, I do ask clients, what is this really about in session, as a way to understand what's really going on with the mind and what's the perception about, okay? But like I've always said, if you're out here ad hocing this and your relationship and your SP on your own, you also don't want to create problems that aren't there, okay? So see this I am good enough thing as a lighthearted thing. Like, okay, I've always just been thinking I'm not good enough. Guess what? I'm just going to think I'm good enough. Now, often I hear from people that my answers are very simple. It's like, is it that easy? And yes, it is, because your thoughts starting right here, right now, are what are creating. Apparently, this is a projection video because my voice, I might need to get a cough drop. I'm adamant about this, you guys. It's what you're thinking. It's who you're choosing. You are starting now. Now, the starting point, if you have thoughts of like what you don't want for half the day, you just come back to it and say, oh, okay, back on it. Here I am good enough. I'm more than good enough. Okay. Oftentimes what people are doing, and they don't realize, they're in a lot of anxious thoughts, spiraling thoughts of what they don't want, and then going right for, okay, I am good enough. I'm more than good enough. I'm this and I'm that and I'm that. I'm that. You don't want to do that either. What do you want to do? You want to calm the mind down and not attack your spiraling thoughts with a bunch of affirmations. That's like still in the problem zone of the mind. There's the problem zone of the mind. There's the solution zone of the mind. The solution zone of the mind is, I am good enough. I've always been good enough. I just never knew. I just kind of forgot. Guess what? I'm more than good enough right here, right now is me. And if I already was good enough, what would I be thinking, feeling, and doing as that version of me, right? Would you be, how would you be being? What would you be doing? What would your hobbies be? How would you be treating yourself? What would you be doing? What would you be doing if you already were good enough? That will give you a clue too. So that's something you can practice. It's kind of like I don't like the term acting as if, but it's like, okay, if I am good enough, like if it's a done deal, oh, I might be treating myself differently. I might be acting a different way. I might be wearing a different thing. I might be choosing different things. I might have different activities. I might have new exercises. I might have a new workout. I might have a this. I might have a that. Okay. Because the thing is this, when we feel good enough and we have that idea of I am good enough, and as you bring that into your mental diet and your thoughts, what does that create? It creates unconditional self-love. Now, when we have unconditional self-love, we come back to putting ourselves first, taking things less personally, prioritizing our thoughts of self, and prioritizing the thoughts of your SP. Okay. All right. I am going to get into some general SP Q&As also in this video. Okay, I think I've answered that question, possibly ad nauseum. Okay, just kidding. Okay. Oh, so this is the question about the previous video. That was flip your entire reality like this. The question is from Story Stratford 3105. You touched on this for a bit at the end of the video, but if we are supposed to be creators, why does all this require so much work? Persisting, different techniques, etc. If our thoughts create, shouldn't thinking be enough? And maybe a video topic. Hey, I'm right here. It's only been a week and it's part of my video. Congrats. This rarely happens in my videos. So the thing is this, my answer is always this. Your thoughts are enough. Oh, I got to plug myself in here. Getting really close to the camera. So your thoughts are enough, you guys. You do not need to be doing any technique. I do hypnosis because I'm a trained hypnotherapist. I like hypnosis as a meditative brainwave enhancing technique and a healing mechanism and a way to relax, but you don't have to do it in order to create change and movement in your reality. Your thoughts are enough. Your thoughts are enough. The only thing is this. Are you thinking the thoughts that you need to be thinking to create that which you're desiring? Okay. Persisting is necessary because a lot of people think thoughts and then they don't think those thoughts. Then they think the thoughts some more and they think opposing thoughts. You guys know this. You think. Oh, yes, my affirmations, it's all working. SP does something. Let me think of an example of what I've heard this week. Oh my gosh, Alexis, I was really, really on it. I felt so great. We were getting along better. We were having more chemistry. We had some intimacy. We had some kissing. We had some date night. And then during the date, at the very end of it, he said this. I was totally off of it. But guess what? I didn't react. I didn't have any reaction to what I said because you say we shouldn't react. So I really, really, really felt bad for the next 2 days. Okay, that's usually a really human way to explain what's going on in relationships with your SP, right? Why is persisting necessary? Because we want to say that whatever the SP said, in this case, it was a he, okay? He said whatever, and she heard it, right? Now, what did she do? She heard it and she said, oh my God, can't believe this. And she didn't say that. It was internal, right? It was like, I'm not going to say anything. Gosh, like I'm watching Alexis, you're in my head. Don't say anything right now. And I want to clear that up too today about reacting, responding in your reality. And then she felt bad for 2 days. Now, those 2 days she felt bad. She was obviously thinking the old story, thoughts of what she doesn't want. It happens that quickly, you guys. It happens so easily. Like I say to all my clients, this is sneaky. It's sneaky. Okay. Now, also, what could she do? Right. On the way home, guess what she's probably, oh no, wait, did she, or was it might have been a different client. It doesn't matter. She's texting her friends, right? Can you believe? Okay. And then all of this blew up in her face. But as humans in relationships, especially, this is what we tend to do. We also talk about what we don't want, which is complaining about the person. Can you believe he said that? And like, honestly, you guys, what he said was partially of what she's manifesting. Okay. It wasn't all bad, but she took it so the wrong way, took it personally. Her feelings were so incredibly hurt by it, okay, that for 2 days, she just could not get out of those thoughts, okay? So this is the thing, you guys. If you are not reacting to what he or she says because you think it's going to help your manifesting, but then you're not thinking the appropriate thoughts, like you might as well react and say, that really hurts my feelings, and then be thinking, because I said it hurts my feelings, he wants to make me feel better. We are getting through this. We are getting closer. Okay. If you're not going to react and you're going to react inside, then it doesn't matter. You cancel it out. I say in videos to learn how to respond from your true, authentic feelings that you got to figure out in your 3D reality with your person. We want to stop reacting out of negative emotions, taking things personally. You do this, you did that, so I felt this way. I feel like this when you do that. You made me feel. Okay. We need to be much more in charge of our feelings. Take 10 minutes, take half a day to really figure out what's going on with me, and then say, hey, when you said that, I just wanted to say that I felt. Okay, it's a much more balanced way. Now, a lot of people are learning that skill, being responsive instead of being reactive. Now, responsive would be responsive. Reactive, right, is what a lot of people are doing. Now, that's why you got to persist. That's why I say it. You got to be persistent, consistent, like no matter what anyone's saying. Is it a technique? I don't think so, because it's just the thoughts you're thinking. What's the better scenario? He said something and she's like, oh, okay. Well, apparently that's part of our old story. It's my old thoughts flushing out because my reality is a projection of me, right? This whole thing isn't really real anyways. I'm creating it from within me. So, you know, that's not the best thing he said, but I'm going to think about, this is the internal dialogue. I'm going to think about a good way to look at this. I'm going to think like, oh, wait a minute. How would Alexis look at this, right? What would she say to me? And then you kind of talk yourself out of it. And then you don't have these 2 days of feeling bad. You guys, who wants 2 whole days of feeling bad these days? I certainly don't. It's not that you know, I don't have time for it, but like, you know, we want to have a good time here. We want to be feeling good, having a great summer, enjoying ourselves, enjoying people, having good experiences. Like, make that your your goal is to like not stew in negative emotions for that long. You can be feeling negative for a little while, but we got to pop out of it and be like, oh, so like I do create my reality after all. And guess what? This is all okay. It's all coming together for me. Okay. So that's why you got to persist. And going back to this question, and you know, it does require so much work because your negative thinking and your old perception will try to come in. Just like hers did, right? Like it really came in so quickly, so fast, she couldn't get a hold of it. So that's unfortunately or fortunately why it takes so much to unwind all these things. Now, when I said, because we are creators of our reality, I'm 100% certain of it, that we have to really come back to who we really are, right? We have all these things from our childhood, from our adulthood, from the collective consciousness, from society, from our phones, from all of the things that we have taken on that have affected our real estate in our mind, therefore our energy of who we are. You were born perfect, whole and complete, and a product of our creator, and that's why you create your reality. We just forgot. All of us forgot. We learn it now, and it's like, whoa, Nelly, really? Like, really? So that's why all these things take persistency. Now, listen, though, a big hack for all this is being more relaxed, taking things not personally, focusing on yourself, focusing on your self-concept, and deciding it's all working out for you. The number one thing being relaxed of mind, relaxed of body. Okay. I think she and I both agreed that if she had been just more in the moment, she was kind of anxious and tense. Like, and a lot of people are anxious and tense with their SP a lot of the time because of all the stuff that's happened or the anger and the resentment. I totally get it. We've all been there. Okay. But you can, when we are relaxed, our mind is just open and clear, and it's easier to think of what we want, isn't it? I think we can all agree. So, you know, I don't consider the mental diet to be a technique because you're always thinking something. I tend to think of techniques like, you know, that 55 by 5 thing people used to do, or putting your message in the water. They're all great things. It's just, you can't be doing any sort of technique and then be thinking whatever you want to think, i.e. thinking of what you don't want or thinking of the old story and then expecting your SP to change. It's just not going to work that way. Your specific person is an outer representation of your inner representation of them. And that takes fine tuning, figuring out, persisting, and understanding of like, who have I created them to be? Who am I creating them to be? Who have I created myself to be? Who am I creating myself to be? It takes a lot of diligence, and that's why it's persistency. Okay. Like, hey, if this was easy, then I wouldn't be here talking about it. I wouldn't have so much guidance because it's a seemingly easy thing, and it is simple, but it takes a lot of practice to get the hang of it. Okay. Just remember too, like a lot of people in your reality are going to tell you how real everything is. A lot of people in our realities are going to tell us how real the 3D is. And he's this and she's that, he's this and she's that, blah, 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 blah. And here we're saying, no, not really. Well, not if you don't want them to be. They don't have to be that way. Okay. So your thinking is enough. Your thoughts creating is enough. You just have to have enough thoughts to be really thinking, and feeling differently is a good indicator, but maybe not. When people start out with this or along the way, the new thoughts are going to feel weird. You're going to have oppositional opinions to the new thoughts. Okay. So we're not trying to get everything to resonate, click, feel so great. You can't expect that. You want to think like, okay, so the new thoughts I'm thinking, like if I've always thought like, okay, I'm not that good enough. She's like so good enough over there. I'm just not the one that's picked. It's never going to happen for me. If I tell you to begin thinking, I am the one that's picked now. I am the one that is so loved and so sought after and so chosen. And my reality is a replication of how magnetic I am. Okay. If I have you think that, it's going to feel a little bit weird, or you're going to have oppositional thoughts to that. Okay. So anyways, mental diet, thought creation is always enough. It's always enough. Always more than enough, because your thoughts create anyways. Okay. Again, I think I say that in like all my over 200 videos. Okay, let me get back to the video ideas. There was one more I think I thought I wanted to grab. Please bear with me, you guys. I just didn't have this. All right. Somebody asked about a quantum eraser manifestation technique. I have no idea what that is. I don't look up new technique manifestation things because I firmly believe in my thoughts being more than enough and retraining the thinking. So I don't know, you guys. Quantum manifestation eraser technique. Oh yeah, okay. Interesting term. You know, you tell people to forget things. You think that they're going to forget things, and they forget things. Quantum eraser. Not sure. And yeah. Okay. So here the question was on the same video, which again, it was about is what I was talking about with the different lanes going on a strict mental diet. Now, you know, you guys, the term strict mental diet, I get why people out there say that, but your mind is not going to like the term strict. Okay. It's like when you are doing a, any kind of, like if you're doing a diet and you say, I have to be so strict with this, what's your mind going to be thinking? It's going to be thinking, oh, so that means we don't get any of X, Y, and Z. So all we're eating is X, Y, and Z. Now that might work for like 7 days. And then guess what? You begin eating X, Y, and Z because you told yourself that you were strict. Okay. Same thing. If I was to say, don't look to my right. Don't look to my right. To my right, there's something. But don't look there. Don't look. Okay. Where are you going to look? The right. Okay. So I really don't agree with this term strict. We want to gently be thinking new thoughts and gently be incorporating our mental diet and our new perspective into our daily life all of the time. Okay. So that's my viewpoint on the terminology. Now, she had asked about the lanes. Yes, but it was my analogy, my lane analogy, what you don't want, what you do want. It is just to understand that throughout the day, how can you catch yourself and be like, okay, I'm just perpetuating thoughts of what I don't want, but it's thoughts of what I'm seeing, but it's thoughts of what I don't want. Okay, I got to get to thoughts of what I want because I'm the creator and I'm the one creating this. I'm the one imagining it. I'm the one affirming it. You see? And you guys, if you don't like an analogy in my video or you think, you know, that's fine, but I'm just trying to give different ways and different ideas to look and think about these things. Because if you're just walking around like, I've got to be on this strict mental diet, I have to just do all my affirmations, I can't think of anything else. And then, you know what, a lot of people, when they have that perspective, then they say to me, okay, I was at work for an hour and I didn't do an affirmation about my SP. Does that mean it's not going to happen? And absolutely not. The thing is this, the foundation of how you do your conscious creation also is how you're creating. So if you're telling yourself you have to robotically affirm everything and that's the way it happens and that's the quickest way, yada, 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 guess what? You're just going to begin to believe that you have to robotically affirm everything. That's not a belief or an idea or an assumption I, Alexis, want to have. That sounds like no fun, sounds very stressful, sounds like a cortisol spike, sounds like nervous system overload. Okay, how is that fun for anyone? Not my jam. Okay. So if you're saying to yourself, I have to be on the strict mental diet, like, oh my gosh, my bracelets almost like flew off, then you're always going to have to be on a strict mental diet for everything. And not necessarily even with food diets. If you go 80-20, you'll be much more successful in long-term results. We're going for long-term results, long-term change, long-term love and relationships. So you guys just take out lovely person who wrote in this question. Starts with a T, ends 4312. Yeah, what I said about changing the story is always about a mental diet, but it's like coaxing your mind into it. See it that way. It's like you're massaging new thoughts in, you're bringing in new perspectives, you're bringing in a new perception, you're having new thoughts, new perception, new perspective, etc., etc. Make it a easy happening process instead of like, it has to be this way, I have to go this. You know, you want to go all in with the practice of guiding the mind to what you want, thinking about what you want, changing your perspective. And remember, the biggest thing to change or to change your thinking about is yourself. It isn't changing you or having to be somebody different. It's changing your thoughts of the concept, the core concept of who you are in love and relationships, right? I am the one who is now sought after. I am so pursued. I am so wanted. This is happening for me. And he loves me. He's pursuing me. He's choosing me. He's making it happen for us. He loves me so much. He loves us so much. He's totally in love with me. 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 Do you see? Now, the last thing I said was affirmations. and a 3. What was it, 3 or 4? I wasn't counting. Okay. I don't consider that to be robotic affirming. If you do, then you're calling it that. But I think thinking the same thoughts repetitively is very helpful if you're going to do any sort of technique thing with your mental diet thing. Okay. But you guys, your thoughts create, right? Stop overcomplicating it. Stop overthinking everything. Stop overcomplicating, overthinking the whole manifest. Maybe it's the last time. I'm just kidding. That I think that like the this is totally coming undone because of my passion about this topic. You guys, stop overthinking your thinking and stop overdoing it. Your thoughts create. Your thoughts and retraining your thoughts are enough. Your thoughts are the basis of all. Your mind is hearing your thoughts. Your reality is hearing your thoughts. Your reality is a replication and manifestation of your thoughts. Bottom line. So you don't want to get caught up in all these deep dives about all these things. And then, you're avoiding just changing your actual conscious thoughts. What you're thinking, right? The more time you're like, this technique and that, and let me find something, let me watch a bunch of videos, let me just dive into all this. You could just be using that time to think the thoughts you need to be thinking about your SP once and for all, loving you, being into you, wanting you, needing you, right? The last tip I want to say today is remember to take them off a pedestal. How you know someone is on a pedestal if you think that they think that you're not good enough for them, to go back to the first question. If they seem like they have the power, the control in the relationship, if it seems like they're the one creating it, yada, 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 you guys take them off a pedestal. How do you take them off a pedestal? Is you stop thinking of them that way. And you start thinking of yourself in a heightened, elevated way, just you being wanted, loved, adored, pursued, right? The example I always give is like people that we as a society tend to put on pedestals are athletes, rock stars, musicians, actors, people that are celebrities, we tend to put on pedestals. Now, I myself have examined the partners of celebrities over the years, right? And what I've noticed is the partners that have a different dynamic is the person married to the celebrity. Guess what? They don't have that person on. That celebrity is on no kind of pedestal, you guys. So how can we use this for our SP, right? They don't get to be on a pedestal. So don't allow them to live and breathe and be up there. Be like, listen, the jig is up, okay? I am the center of my reality. I am more than good enough. I love myself, and he just loves me too, right? Instead of the story of he's so this and she's so that, and they're so amazing, and look at how great they are. And it's great to think highly of people, okay? But not to the point that they're untouchable, unreachable. Okay. Those are all my tips today and my answers to questions. If you have more answers to questions, you can write them in the videos, and then our support team sends them to me, and I can answer them. All right. I am thinking the best for everyone this week. I intend that you got great information, a kick in the pants, and some laughs out of this video. It's been kind of a long one, and I will see you guys next week. All right. Have a great one. Mwah. Bye.